Hello, St. Louis fans. Welcome to OnSTL.com.
Today's segment is sponsored by Sterling Transportation and Limousine Service. Call Carl Trioli at 314-222-1700. 222-1700. Weddings, proms, graduation, and business, you name it, he's there for it. My guest today is Mark Bland, radio show host of The Q Show.
Yes.
Broadcast right out of St. Louis here. Mark, it's a pleasure finally meeting you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you too, sir. A legend like yourself from New York,
You're
Hot
becoming
97.
one very quickly yourself here, my man.
Hey,
Let's talk about your show. Your show is actually political. It's more in the middle, moderate.
The Q is more of a moderate liberal political radio show. It's actually even kind of gotten away. You know, I took a hit hard in the 2012 elections because, you know, obviously it's a national election for president of the United States. And being a moderate liberal in such a conservative market as St. Louis, I got hit from all sides.
Oh, I'm sure, but I bet you enjoyed that.
I didn't mind it. It doesn't bother me in the least bit, but like it really burned me out hard because like it's just so much to deal with, you know, and there's kind of like no competition for myself. I'm not saying that other people don't exist. I'm just saying as far as the style of show that I do, I tend to be a little edgy and controversial.
Oh, just a little.
Just a little. But so I don't really have any competition. So like it all falls on my shoulders. And so there's certain topics other people ain't going to touch, or if they touch them, they're just going to be real broad based about them.
You do something that no one dares to do. For those who don't know, it's at 1280 AM KYRO, Cairo. Here in St. Louis.
Yeah, 1280 AM KYRO and 1420 WINI. I'm syndicated.
Yes,
and then of course
going from there
worldwide on the internet at theq.com.
And we'll talk about that, how different it is to do radio today than it used to be. But listening to your show, you dared, and I think this is because of your wrestling radio background, you dare to yell at each other, yell at your guests, and they yell back and scream, and it works. That's very difficult to do.
You know, it's weird as it sounds. At times on my show, not all the time, but at times, I almost feel like another individual who you probably know very well from back in the day, Martin Downey Jr.
Oh yes,
you know what I mean? Like I almost, but like not where like the way he felt. He had a lot of demons in his past. I was a middle class kid who grew up, you know, and my mom and dad are both conservative, and I tended to be more moderate. I kind of pull from both sides and stuff like that. But at times I really do feel kind of like Morton Downey Jr. in the fact that in the same idea that he would yell at the guests would yell back at him. You know what I'm saying? And if you notice, it's not just yelling for yelling's sake. It's literally the conversations get so amped up towards each other. Eventually, boom, there's like a collision.
But you don't become a jerk.
No.
You argue what you really believe in.
My point is this. In St. Louis, because it's such a conservative market, there's no one who is speaking on behalf of the moderates and the liberals. And a conservative radio show host, you know, like your 97.1 people or just the different stations around that do have a lot of conservative talk. And 1280 AM KYRO, where I do my show, that's also conservative.
Yes, it is.
Like I'm the only moderate. I'm the only liberal on the entire station.
And you're on Saturdays from noon to 2?
In fact, Friday afternoons from 11 until 1 p.m.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm on Sunday mornings from 8 to 10. They switch my schedule around.
Okay, so we've already totally confused everybody. They can go to
WestplexNewsTalk.com.
Okay, Westplex News
Or if you really want to, you can just go to theqnow.com, and I've got the schedules
That's
up there
true,
for the.
yeah, okay.
But I'm on all conservative stations. I'm not on any liberal stations whatsoever.
Well, there aren't that many.
There aren't that many anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I think it would have been great for me to get to Air America had it continued to be.
Yeah, but you know what?
Successful, but they kind of failed.
Yeah, but I think that what you're doing is better than that because, and it's indicative in the fact that you are on these conservative stations, that they put you on there because I think when you listen to the show, even if you are a conservative, you go, all right, he is making a fair argument here. You're not just being, you know, it's not just a yelling show. Right. Even though you yell in it, there's argument in there that's good on both sides. And you do listen to your guests.
Yeah, and I think that that's the most important thing, being the guy who kind of has to carry that burden because there's no one else really doing it. I can't just go in all one-sided and throw it around. I have to kind of present both sides and be fair and willing to listen to the other side too. There have been multiple shows over the last 3 years of the Q where I've walked out of the show having adjusted my opinion a little bit, you know.
Well, Mark, I wish you the best with it. Unlike your show, this can't go as long as I'd like it to go. But I wish you the best with it. I want you to plug where you are on in St. Louis again so people can hear you and where to find you on the internet.
Yeah, if you guys get a chance, you can always find out everything about the show at theqnow.com. That's TheQNOW.com. Also, every single Sunday morning, 8 a.m. until 10 Central Standard Time, depending on where you're at in the world listening to this, on WesplexNewsTalk.com, 1280 AM KYRO in your car, or Saturday morning, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time on 1420 WINI. And I think that's newstalk1420.com.
Great way to wake up, too. Thank you, Mark.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.